My pillow guy, Mike Lindell. He is the greatest. The My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. And he's been with us right from the beginning.
Good Friday afternoon, America. Thanks for joining us today on the Mike Lindell Show. I'm Vanessa Broussard. The Trump administration announcing the most advanced, most capable, most lethal aircraft today. It's known as the F-47. An experimental version of this plane has secretly been flying around for nearly 5 years. I believe we have a picture of it to show you. It has massive capabilities no other nation has. Here's President Trump's announcement.
The F-47 will be the most advanced, most capable, most lethal aircraft ever built. An experimental version of the plane has secretly been flying for almost 5 years, and we're confident that it massively overpowers the capabilities of any other nation. There's no other nation. We know every other plane. I've seen every one of them, and it's not even close. This is a next level. You know, level 5 is good. This is level 6, they say. The F-47 is equipped with state-of-the-art stealth technology. It's virtually unseeable and unprecedented power. It's got the most power of any jet of its kind ever made. Maneuverability, likewise, is there's never been anything like it, despite the power and speed. Its speed is top. It's over 2, which is something that you don't hear very often. America's enemies will never see it coming. Hopefully we won't have to use it for that purpose, but you have to have it. And if it ever happens, they won't know what the hell hit them.
Let's bring in Lindell TV reporter Kara Castronova with more on this massive announcement. Kara, our military is getting stronger by the minute. Huge announcement today. What can you tell us?
It was great. Yeah, we were here for that announcement, and we actually got to see Secretary Hegseth walk by, and everybody was happy to see him. I think a lot of people were just happy that he wasn't announcing anything having to do with Iran and any type of war, because you know, people are kind of, I think, exhausted from all of that. Just announcing this jet, which was apparently named after the 47th president, the F-47, after Donald Trump. He said generals named it that. So I think that was a great announcement today. It was a great way to end the week. We're going into the weekend, I think, and everybody's just happy, like I said, that there was no war announcement, anything having to do with Iran. Half joking about that, but also it's serious what's happening right now on that side of the world.
Absolutely it is, and we're going to talk more about that here a little later in the show. But you know, you're absolutely right. It's Friday, it's the weekend, we're heading into the weekend, and so a good announcement that our military is getting stronger. President Trump had said so many times on the campaign trail, Kara, that we had a more weak military under Biden, and so to see this announcement, I know Boeing is going to be the maker of this aircraft. As you mentioned, it's going to be named after President Trump, F-47. Pete Hegseth was there in the Oval Office with him today for that announcement. So it's really good to see that our military is going that next step for the future to keep not only Americans safe, but the world safe.
Well, definitely, you know, like obviously, like you said, the military under Joe Biden was starting to become weaker. We all know this, so thank God President Trump is back, and I have a lot of faith in Secretary Hegseth. Just like I said, we walked into him today, and he really just exudes that kind of confidence, and you know, I know I hate to say it, but that strong presence, that male strong presence that so many people like to hate on, I think he's going to do really well in this job as secretary. And he was very nice to the media. A lot of these politicians really don't like talking to the media, but he was very pleasant to say hi to. So that's the good news. And just a lot of other stuff going on at the White House, like I said, this week. And, you know, everybody's relieved that the weekend is here, because I'm sure next week will be very busy, as well as it has been so far with this administration.
Absolutely. And again, a big day for not only President Trump, our Air Force, our military, also Pete Hegseth. We have a clip from him on his announcement about this warfighter. Let's take a listen.
Well, Mr. President, this is a big day. This is a big day for our warfighters. This is a big day for our country, a big day in the world. The name of this program is the Next Generation of Air Dominance. And Mr. President, because of your leadership, your clarity, America is going to have generations in the future of air dominance because of this sixth generation fighter. We've had the F-15, we had the F-16, the F-18, the F-22, the F-35. Now we have the F-47, which sends a very direct, clear message to our allies that we're not going anywhere, and to our enemies that we will be able to project power around the globe unimpeded for generations to come. Mr. President, this is a gift to my kids and your kids, to my grandkids and your grandkids. This is a historic investment in the American military, in the American industrial base, in American industry that will help revive the warrior ethos inside our military, which we're doing, rebuild our military, which the previous administration did not do, by the way, Mr. President. They paused this program and were prepared to potentially scrap it. We know this is cheaper, longer range, and more stealthy. President Trump said we're reviving it and we're doing it. And then we are also going to reestablish deterrence. Under the previous administration, we looked like fools. Not anymore. President Trump has reestablished American leadership. The F-47 is part of it. And Mr. President, thank you for having the courage to do it and leading the way for all our warfighters.
Thank you very much, Pete.
Yeah, it was just an
To
honor,
this.
like I mentioned earlier, to be a part of that announcement and to just get to witness that kind of today here at the White House. Such a nice announcement, I feel like, just to end off the week. So, you know, positivity all around for making America strong again.
Absolutely. And going back to, watching this, we're saying it's the end of the week, big announcement, but it's been an amazing week. If you think about Elon Musk and SpaceX going to space and getting the astronauts back home, and now this announcement of the F-47 technology, America is back. And it's just been a wonderful week going to get the astronauts at the International Space Station when they were stranded. Now today's announcement about our military getting stronger. I'm just loving the first 2 months of President Trump in office.
Definitely. And the Department of Education, let's not forget, got disbanded yesterday. So people are still talking about that today and talking about what's supposed to happen from here moving forward. And I think that's also going to be all positivity. And we'll get more information, hopefully, on what steps are moving forward with that next week.
And while I have you, one last question, Kara. I know you're working on something for tonight. You just mentioned the Department of Education. Can you give us a preview of that?
Sure, you could check that out on Emerald's show tonight, The Truth with Emerald Robinson, The Absolute Truth. And I will be talking, for the most part, about the lawsuit that Randy Weingarten and the Teachers Federation is planning on suing President Trump and this administration, and really just the conflict of interest. A lot of people get it very confused. Teachers, obviously, unions are there to advocate for teachers keeping their jobs, even if they're not doing good jobs, which, let's be real, they might have to take a little bit of the responsibility for the failing marks that these students are getting, and the decline of the education here in America. I blame most of it on the Board of Education, obviously, but for the teachers union to be butting in, they don't have any standing to sue this administration. Obviously, they are not students. The Board of Education is supposed to better the education of students, not the careers of teachers. So it's really just about the conflict of interest and this teachers union and their threats to sue the administration.
All right, we look forward to that report tonight. Kara, thank you.
Thank you so much, Vanessa.
Meanwhile, Elon Musk was seen visiting the Pentagon today. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth posted a video of Elon walking into the Pentagon and also in meetings today. Pete Hegseth posted this: amazing visit with Elon Musk at the Pentagon. He is a patriot, and I look forward to continuing our work together. With Elon and Doge, he says, we are ensuring our military continues to be the greatest fighting force the world has ever known. In the meantime, the New York Times put out a fake news story about Elon's visit to the Pentagon. President Trump addressed that today.
And I called Pete. I said, is there any truth to that? And they said it's ridiculous. No, he's over there to talk about cost. You might want to address that, Pete. But Elon was over there today to address cost. Doge, thing called Doge, which you've heard about. Pete?
That's exactly right, Mr. President. You pointed out it was a fake story. We pointed out it was meant to sort of undermine whatever relationship the Pentagon has with Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a patriot. Elon Musk is an innovator. Elon Musk provides a lot of capabilities our government and our military rely on, and I'm grateful for that. We welcomed him today to the Pentagon to talk about Doge, to talk about efficiencies, to talk about innovations. It was a great informal conversation. The rest of that reporting was fake. There was no war plans, there was no Chinese war plans, there was no secret plans. That's not what we were doing at the Pentagon.
I might add that I think Elon, if they ever wanted to do that, I think Elon wouldn't do it. I think he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't want to put himself in that position. But if you read what's out of the New York Times,
Doge and all also providing technology to our country, but yet the left's heads are exploding. They are having a tough time with Elon working to save America, and I just don't understand. So much hate that they're burning down Tesla dealerships and Tesla vehicles. We've shown you that here on the show. Let's bring in White House correspondent Allison Steinberg with more on this. Allison, it's so good to see you today. You know, 2 years ago, the left was begging Americans to purchase electric vehicles. Now they're burning them down.
Hi, Vanessa. It's great to be with you. Yes, it is amazing, isn't it, how this has turned around so drastically. Over what? Over Elon Musk and Doge actually doing what they can to help the American taxpayer, to save us money, to get rid of the waste and the fraud and the abuse. You would think that people would be rejoicing about this, and, you know, anyone with half a brain, I think, is. But then we have these crazy, deranged lunatics on the left who are somehow upset about this. And in response, they are going out, they're burning up Tesla dealerships, keying Tesla cars. Now there's reports that there is this list that's being compiled of every Tesla owner in the nation, as well as their personal information. So now these crazy leftists are going to all efforts to dox Tesla owners in any way they possibly can, and it is truly despicable. I mean, this is supposedly the party of peace, love, and tolerance, yet we've seen nothing but anger and aggression and violence from these people. This has got to be dealt with.
Absolutely, and it is. Just yesterday, the Department of Justice announced that 3 arrests have been made regarding some of those fires that are taking place at the dealerships. But we don't want to deter people. That's their motive. They want to scare people. That's what they do. Scare people, deter people from purchasing a Tesla or owning a Tesla, like you just mentioned. You know, the Trump administration is going after these people. Look, Elon is the king of technology, right? You know he's got cameras at all of his properties and all of his dealerships. They're going to catch you. Eyes are on you. And President Trump also said, Allison, that when we find you, because we will, you will serve up to 20 years in prison.
He did say that, and I'm so glad that he's addressing this, because we've sort of seen this issue compiling over the past week. I hadn't heard anything from the administration up until just yesterday, so I'm glad to hear that he is addressing this, telling the criminals involved, the domestic terrorists involved with this, that they will be going to prison for this. He actually even mentioned that if you're caught committing this crime, you're going to be shipped off to El Salvador. In fact, I think there's a clip of that. If we want to play that, let's roll it.
I view these people as terrorists just like others. When I looked at those showrooms burning and those cars, not 1 or 2, like 7, 8, 10 burning, exploding all over the place. These are terrorists. You didn't have that on January 6th, I can tell you. You didn't have anything like that on January 6th, which is sort of amazing, because on January 6th, the Democrats were talking. Nobody was killed other than a very beautiful young woman, Ashley Babbitt. Nobody was killed. And you look at what's going on now with these terrorists. These are terrorists, and that's an organized event. You know, take a look at their signs. Take a look. They're all made by the same sign company. A nice, expensive job. Now, these are the people that finance it are, in my opinion, in just as big a trouble as the people that are setting the match and setting the fires. So we'll see. It's under very serious investigation by the FBI and by the Justice Department. These people are terrorists.
Vanessa, I'm so glad that he brought up two things here. The fact that nothing even remotely close happened on January 6th by conservatives, right? I mean, conservatives were completely peaceful at the Capitol on January 6th, yet we had these same types of crazy leftists compiling lists, trying to dox people like me or anyone who was present at the Capitol on January 6th, trying to do everything they could to get officials involved to have our lives destroyed and have us arrested. So I think the same needs to be done for these people now at this point in time, since they've clearly proven to be violent. But I think the most important part of what President Trump said in that clip was he addressed the fact that this is an organized crime group. This is all, I believe, tied back to George Soros and Act Blue. This is a group that is funding these individuals to go out and be violent, to create chaos in the streets. If you look into it, it's very organized. They all have the same signs. They all act the same. So this is being funded by these rich billionaires who do not have America's best interests at heart. And I'm so glad that this is finally coming to light, because this is an ongoing issue for many years now. It's finally being showcased in the perfect light, and I'm so grateful that President Trump and his DOJ is aware of this and they are handling it appropriately. I want to see arrests made, and I want to see a lot of these people shipped off to El Salvador.
Absolutely. Yes. You and me both. And I think a lot of Americans can agree with that as well. Allison, thank you. I like the idea of, maybe digging deeper into who's funding this, because President Trump said it, we just heard it, that if you're funding it, you're also responsible, and you too will get up to 20 years in prison. So if we can dig a little deeper into that, I know we will here at Lindell TV, and find out who is behind these criminal acts that's taking place at Tesla dealerships all across the country. Allison, thank you.
Indeed. Thanks so much, Vanessa. Take care.
Well, it's been a busy week for foreign policy as well. President Trump speaking to both President Zelensky of Ukraine and President Putin of Russia on the phone. The goal is to bring peace to the region in the agreement of a ceasefire deal. That's what we've been waiting on. President Trump says if he was president, the last 4 years, this war would have never started. Let's bring in Natasha Surdock with America's Roundtable. Natasha, the president of peace, hoping for a deal soon. What's your reaction?
Actually, Trump, if Trump was in office, this would not happen. Russia would not have invaded Ukraine. And at this stage, President Trump is really demonstrating his policy of peace through strength. He's bringing two sides together to actually broker a peace between Russia and Ukraine. And the fact is that Zelensky, in the end, agreed to a 30-day unconditional ceasefire. However, President Putin conditioned it just not to attack energy installations and infrastructure. So we are at this point now that something happened in the meantime. So the energy plants were attacked. There's a blame going on from both sides. The issue as well is that overnight, Russians Russians attacked Odessa on the Black Sea during the visit of President from Czech Republic. So they actually sent over 200 drones and also some of the missiles. So it was really unfortunate. So we are not sure how this is going to progress, but the important thing is that Trump continues to hold both sides accountable, and that we get to a point that we get to see a ceasefire. Also, Witkoff, who is also brokering the peace and a major negotiator between those two parties, mentioned that the attacks that happened on energy installations happened as they brokered the peace, so that those attacks could not have been prevented in time. So we'll see what's going to happen next.
Yes, President Trump, made a mention about Russia, Ukraine today. Let's take a quick listen to that.
President Putin will tell you that without the United States, he wouldn't be worried. But he is worried when the United States is involved. And I have to tell you, I've dealt very well with both gentlemen, and we have I think we have the confines of a deal. I hope we have the confines of a deal. I'm doing it for two reasons. Number one, and by far most importantly, thousands of young people, and they're not American people, they're Russian and they're Ukrainian, are being killed every week, thousands a week. And also the United States has paid, because of Biden, $350 billion on a war that should have never happened. If we had a competent president and this sitting right here, that war would have never happened. It would have absolutely never happened with me. And it didn't happen. For 4 years, it didn't happen.
Natasha?
Right. As I said, it wouldn't have happened if President Trump was in power. Actually, the problem is that so many lives are lost. Over a million, they say over a million lives were lost, and on both sides, Ukrainians and Russians. And actually, we can also go back to the unfinished work after the fall of the Berlin Wall, because those countries have a systemic corruption with the lack of rule of law, lack of protection of property rights, and tycoons that received most of the national wealth in each country. And there was peace as long as Russians could have controlled Ukrainian government leaders. And once it blew up because of elections and because of new government, we saw even FBI going after certain assets of Ukraine's let's say tycoons that actually stole government assets, that Russia didn't like that because these are their allies. But hopefully we're going to see this peace being brokered and seeing a new era for Ukraine and Russia, living in a peaceful environment.
Yes, that's what we pray for, and we know that President Trump will definitely make sure that happens sooner than later. Now on to Israel and Hamas. Israel opening fire on the Gaza Strip, taking out top terrorists and killing the Hamas head of government. What's your reaction to that, Natasha?
Right. I mean, Israel's goal is to get rid of Hamas and to bring hostages back. And that's why we had the ceasefire for 2 months, because Hamas really started releasing hostages according to the plan. So 33 hostages were released in exchange for 1,700 Palestinians that were held in Israeli prisons. A second part of this ceasefire was to start releasing the second part of hostages, which were mostly young men. And here Hamas just stopped. They didn't deliver. And therefore, Israelis moved in, because what happened? I mean, Hamas is using this ceasefire periods to rearm, to get stronger, to get movements from north to south. Basically, they're parading these poor hostages in front of the television. And when we saw also hostages coming out of Gaza being traumatized, injured, extremely starved, it's mind-boggling. So now something has to be done. Hamas, they need to get rid of Hamas and just get hostages back. So we hope that this will happen sooner rather than later, because there are still 24 hostages in Hamas captivity. Out of 59 hostages altogether, the rest are thought to be deceased. There's only one American Israeli hostage that's still held captive, and also that's a priority of President Trump and administration to bring him home.
Yes,
Eden Alexander is his name.
Yes.
Right.
We'll never forget his name or any of these hostages. Either Americans are being freed constantly under President Trump. One was released today from the Taliban, who had been there for 2 years, held hostage for 2 years by the Taliban. His name is George Glesman. So it's good to see that President Trump is freeing these Americans after so many years, Natasha.
Right. I mean, this hostage that was just released by Taliban spent, as you said, 2 years. So during Biden administration, I'm not sure whether anyone really vouched for him to bring him home. And again, we see the president's peace through strength, President Trump really working for Americans, working for American families and bringing hostages back.
Yes, Natasha Srdoc, so good to have you on again. Always my go-to for foreign policy, and it's always great chatting with you. For people to listen to and follow America's Roundtable, how can they do so?
Yes, it's americasrt.com, and we just had Gordon Chang, an expert on China, and it was a wonderful, engaging conversation. So it's a must listen. interview with Gordon Chang on americasrt.com. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Thank you, Natasha.
Thank you for
Well,
sharing
saving
images.
Yes, absolutely. Well, saving our children, autism rates are at an all-time high. What is in your children's food? Well, Robert Kennedy Jr. is on top of it. Just yesterday, we mentioned right here on the show that he launched Operation Stork Speed. Well, today he released this message on the effort to make children's food safer.
Hi, this is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. As Secretary of Health and Human Services, one of the agencies that I oversee is the Food and Drug Administration. The FDA is responsible for making sure that the food and medicine that Americans put into their body is safe. That's important for everyone, but especially for our children, because they're the most vulnerable, and the most vulnerable of all are our babies. If there's one food that must be safe beyond any doubt, it's infant formula. Mothers who cannot or choose not to breastfeed need to have absolute confidence that their infant formula is ideal for their babies and have many options to choose from. Parents and others who rely on infant formula should know what's in these products and how consuming them may impact their child's health. That's why I'm directing the FDA to launch Operation Stork Speed. Amongst many things, it will study infant formula to inform updates in federal guidelines. Let me tell you why we're doing this. You see, the science of human nutrition has progressed since current guidelines were put in place in 1998. So we're going to evaluate all the common ingredients from corn syrup solids to seed oils to make sure that they meet the needs of our little ones. Some things we know are bad, like heavy metals, so we're going to increase the frequency of testing to make sure that no child drinks contaminated formula. I met with the CEOs of all the top infant formula manufacturers a couple of days ago, and they're united in support of this initiative. They are ready to make whatever changes are needed based upon the current evidence, because no one wants our children to be sick. We all want our children to grow and flourish from the moment they're born. Make America Healthy Again is something that can unite all Americans, and that's what Operation Stork Speed is all about. We're going to make American infant formula the gold standard for the world.
Produced by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
All right, that's Robert F. Kennedy, Making America Healthy Again. Operation Stork Speed. Kennedy says he's committed to ensuring every American has access to these resources that we need to thrive. We'll be right back with Mike Lindell, a great interview for you. Also, before we go to break, we want to remind you about Fisher Gold. Secure your wealth in this simple setup. MikeLindellGold.com. It's endorsed by Mike Lindell. For qualifying orders, we tell you this every day because we want you in on this. If you qualify, you could get a free coin and up to $20,000 in free silver. How awesome does that sound? It's a conservative company. They share our values. We want to support them because they support us and they want to help us. So go to that website right now. Let them know Mike Lindell sent you. We'll be right back with Mike and more here on the Mike Lindell Show. Stay with us.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets.
I'm interrupting this commercial to do something I've never done before. Get 2 MyPillows absolutely free on orders of $100 or more. I can't do this forever, so get on board with this great sale today. Our best-selling 6-piece bath towel sets or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Our famous standard MyPillows only $14.98. Queens $18.98. King size only $1 more. Body pillows $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase $9.98. Save $40 on our spring percale and Giza Dream bed sheet sets. Any size, any color. So go to mypillow.com or call that number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And when you spend $100 or more, get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free. So welcome everybody to Lindell TV, and we have one of our greatest supporters and sponsors, Carlos Cortez. He is the CEO, owner of Cortez Wealth Management. You guys need to go there now. Don't even wait to hear about it. Go to AmericaFirstRetirementPlan.com or call 833-813-3446. We're going to leave it up while we talk to Carlos here. And Carlos, I can't thank you enough for helping support our voice here at Lindell TV. And I wanted to ask you a few questions that the people out there have asked since our last time we were together. Some questions came in, and the first one is: your website emphasizes retirement built in America and for America. In practice, what does that mean, and how do you help your clients invest in the things they believe in?
Thanks for having me, Mike. Yeah, it's really that simple. I mean, in business school, we all were taught to do business with people you like and trust. I don't think we've gotten, maybe we've gotten away from that with social media. I don't know, but it still is a recipe today. And so before COVID actually came down, I just went out and publicly and boldly said, you know what? I believe in Christ. I believe in America. My father is a pastor and a drill sergeant. And I'm okay in my skin. I'm okay with my message. But let's take it a step further and let's see how we can invest in the way that we believe. And thus we have value-based investing. And more importantly, like I don't want to go to Mexico or Canada. Like America is all we have. There's no plan B. There's no plan C. Like you hear people, oh, Trump got in, I'm moving to Canada. Well, go to Canada and see how you like it. You know,
for you, special K, goodbye. Exactly.
Peace, deuces. So when it comes to your retirement, like we are funding, if you look at all the woke companies, we are funding the LGBT movement. We are funding the transgender movement. We're funding all these things that are a demise to us. And this have been proven. And not only that, but we're funding the legislation. Like how is BLM, how is LGBT getting the money to pass these laws that are victim mentality? And so we're funding this. And if you go deeper, you'll see that the big 401k providers, possibly your 401k provider, for anyone listening, they're only allowing certain mutual funds, certain investments in a employer-sponsored program that funds things that do not go against that goes against America and goes against your values. So what we do here is I had to honestly, Mike, when I was a stockbroker, I had this license and I had to literally do everything they told me to do. I built the business, I built the client, I built everything, and I still had to do everything they told me to do. And I'm like, this is not the American dream. Like as an entrepreneur, I want to do what's right for my clients. That's my service. That's my open architecture. That's my competitive advantage to the Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley, Edward Jones of the world. So what I said, I was going to invent the America First retirement plan. I did it. And we had a great logo. We had a great message. And, you know, my little firm has brought in $250 million inside of 14 months because people finally can talk to an advisor about what they believe in.
Right. No, and that's real important, everybody, is, you know, I had even in stocks that I had, stocks that I was buying, for myself, my own moral compass, I wouldn't buy stocks even though I knew they were going to go up because what they stood for, what was behind the company that was behind them. And for you to, you basically what you've done then, people that have, no matter where you have your money, everybody, you'll be able to say, hey, you've already vetted the good places that have our values, correct? You've already done that work for, you know, I would want to know that myself. If I have money that's supporting, and I could name a lot of places right now that I don't want to support. And just because you're maybe making money over here, you're giving them an alternative. Here, this would support this, and here, instead of having it here, you could have it here, and making the same thing, but you're supporting something that helped is it's good and evil as far as I'm concerned, right?
Yes, I mean, as you know, Wall Street is one of the most corrupt streets in the world. So,
Right,
um,
right,
and honestly, they don't care about your religious or spiritual beliefs. They just care about ups,
right,
downs, and sideways and manipulations. And so,
right,
unfortunately, the average American patriot doesn't know what they're actually funding. Um,
right,
you know, if your advisor doesn't ask this one question, "Hey, Mister or Miss Client, what are some sectors that you do not agree in?" Like, if he or she never asked you, then chances are you're funding everything you probably are against. There's some people that are anti-vax. There's some people that are anti-China. Some people that are anti. I mean, you can. There's
the list
things like
goes on
even
and
in.
on.
Yeah. And there's some things that technology that people don't agree with. When you own, the main thing is that when you own a stock, you actually inherit the mission statement. So
Right,
if you own Playboy and or tobacco-based products or gaming or any pornographic based companies, you actually own that company. So
right.
God will never ask you how much money you've made. He will only question the character it took to make that money.
Right. Well, it kind of reminds me of what you have here, and you guys. You need to go there right now. America First Retirementplan.com or call 833-813-3446. If all your financial planning and stuff, you need to get there. You have something I've never even heard of. Here you're basing everything is also. I can ask you another question. What is this? Who's behind this? Who's behind this? If I put my funds here, if I do this here. Who's behind it? I compare it to when over the last since 2016, I've had different candidates in our elections come up to me, Mike, will you endorse me? Will you endorse me? And I have to vet them and do everything before. I've gave very few endorsements, everybody, to be honest with you, because there's got to be many things that they have to meet that criteria. But I'll never forget this lady in New York, and she was running for office, and she said, Mike, I need your endorsement. Will you endorse me? And I said, no, you're pro-choice. And I said, and she goes, no, I'm right in the middle. I said, what do you half kill a baby? And I said, here would be the headlines. Here would be the headlines. Mike Lindell goes against his Christian values to back a Republican. My credibility would have been shot a long time ago. I can't help my past and everything. I was an ex-crack addict and all this stuff, but I can help who I am now. And if people dig in, and there's been many things, I will tell you this, everybody, right here at Lindell TV, we were asked one time to go with a company that to do it instead of, we've done, we're publicly traded now at FSBN, but we were asked to merge with this other company, and I checked into their past, and they were involved with marijuana back in the day with cannabis. And I'm going, I don't care what people think or don't think of that. It didn't match my where I'm at. So I didn't do it, and maybe it would have been a good opportunity or not. It didn't matter, that one little check. So this is so important, everybody, in your investments in your portfolio, to be able to know what you're, not just how much you're, if you're like me and I want to know if I'm, obviously, Carlos, I'm sure you do great thing. Here's their footprint, and you're giving them options, but you're also letting them know what that money is doing. Is that boy, I'm making money here, but actually it's destroying me over here because it's destroying our country. That's the bottom line, everybody. You got all this stuff that we're out there going, you might make it in the short haul, but I'll tell you what, we got our great real president back in office. We can't let these next 4 years be in vain. We got to do everything we can, and that's knowing where we're putting our resources and money for, whether it's for retirement or anything, what we're doing with our investments, and that's where you need to get to right now. AmericaFirstRetirementPlan.com. Call 833-813-3446. When they do call, Carlos, what are they gonna get? Are they gonna get one of your team, and they what's their steps, or what, They get to know your team. I know one of the things I like about you guys, you treat every person or customer like it's your only customer, and that is so valuable. When I vetted you to be one of our great sponsors here at Lindell TV, you checked all the boxes. I just want to say I can't thank you enough. You care about what we're doing here at our platform and our voice, and just everything. So what do they when they get there? Take us through the process? What you do with your client? How long does it take?
Yeah. Well, a lot of times, Mike, appreciate those awesome words. A lot of times when they call our office, they have a little bit of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. They're fearful because obviously the stock market's going down, things are going down, and they've had a bad experience with just the 08s and the 01s of the world, and now they're retired and they can't mess it up. There's no time, so there's a lot of fear. They're uncertain because there's no plan. They can't talk to their advisor about Trump. They can't talk to the advisor about a crashing dollar. They can't talk to their advisor about the vaccine. They cannot talk about their advisor on their spiritual beliefs. If you're not aligned with your advisor spiritually, medically, socially, economically, then what in the world is he or she doing managing your retirement on where you're going? So you have to be on the same page.
Yeah,
you have to be on the same page.
Yeah, and they and you guys this with the Cortez Wealth Management, you match perfectly to the to our audience. I'll tell you that. You guys, I can't tell you enough how important this just watching this could be. One thing can change the course you're on forever, and I believe in divine appointments. If you're watching this show right now, you need to check this out. I put all my credibility onto Carlos and his the American First Retirement Plan.com. I don't do that. I do that to things that I'm all in 100%. And then I never back away, not even 1%. I think you all know me out there. When I'm all in, it's 100%. And I'm telling you, I would trust everything I have with you, Carlos, and my family's everything. And that's what I'm telling everybody. I mean, I know it's you're the everything that I have, I guess. I'm going to be using you. I know I've asked you. I've told you a couple of things we're going through. That mine's kind of on a bigger scale. Where I'm right now. I'm at you guys. I'm actually fighting the IRS for something that's going to affect the whole country. I went to the Department of Treasury and stuff. So it's going to be great that I'm going to be able to ask. And Carlos and I were just talking about it, but he's not a tax advisor. But this affects everybody, and it affects everybody's income, everybody's portfolios could be affected, or a good portion of this country. So, things that come up, these anomalies and things that come up, we're in a time that's unprecedented in history. And people say, they say all the time, one of the things I want everybody to realize, this isn't like, here, I'm going to put my money here. When it's the same here as here, whatever, or I should do this, to be secure. Donald Trump's in office now, so everything will be okay, and we don't need to plan for a complete collapse. That's not true. And even if it was, even if you didn't have anything out there, let's say it was perfect times. Let's go back. I want to rewind the clock, everybody, to December of 2019. But a roaring economy. Everything was beautiful, okay? It was the highest consumer confidence in history. This is before they gave us the China virus and the stolen election. At that time, I'm telling you right now, Carlos, if I'd have met you then, I would be telling everybody the same thing, because I would be saying, hey, I know times are great, but you know what? Why don't you take your portfolio and what you're doing and your financial advisor and switch over to Cortez Wealth Management, switch over to you, because you vetted the places you're putting your money and resources that are going to help us in the future. These companies that he's already done the work for you, everybody. So this isn't a, hey, switch because out of fear. This is switch if you're not fearful, or you are fearful of what's coming in the future. You need to switch because of who you're supporting, wherever you're putting your resources, at least to have that knowledge. You need to have that knowledge, everybody. We're in a battle of good and evil of biblical proportions right now. And
Amen.
this isn't just because our Donald Trump's in office right now. This has just begun. Evil doesn't rest. Okay, they're coming up with a new plan, and we cannot back the evil out there with our resources, even though we might be making money in the short term off those resources, but we're destroying our country. We have to save our country, and we're all part of this. So, how's that for a speech there, Carlos?
I love it. I didn't get a chance to finish my the question you asked, but yeah, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So when people call, they're either fearful, uncertain, and they're doubtful. And then the reason why they're doubtful, Mike, is very simple: is they don't have a plan. And what you just elaborately spoke about is having a plan, because the market is going to go up, down, or sideways. If you and I were in a casino and we were playing blackjack, and I said, "Hey guys, we're only going to make money 33% of the time. Are you going to gamble your money?" Well, that's what people do in the stock market. It only goes up, down, or sideways, and you only win 33% of the time. So the logic behind it is the markets tend to go up 74% of the time. So 74% of the time, you're going to win less than a third of the time. And that just doesn't make sense anymore. Like, we have AIs, we have robots, we have a lot of distractions, we have tariffs now. We have all these things. Like I said, with tariffs coming in, we're going to get hurt with inflation short term. But we have to air out the dirty laundry, and that's what we're doing right now. Trump's got a handful. He inherited a mess, and we understand that, there's different market cycles. Look at Bitcoin right now. I said on Scriptures and Wall Street here on the Lindell Network, I said Bitcoin would go down, and people laughed at me, like publicly laughed at me. And who's laughing now when it's under 85,000? And I think it's even going to go possibly to 75. It's just part of the cycle. It's part of the cycle. And so when you're retired and you don't have a plan, you have to understand we're in different cycles. And it doesn't matter, because now, this day and age, you're retired. You're trying to retire. It's time to protect your home. As a man of faith, as a woman of faith, it's your responsibility to be the steward of your own money. God blessed you with a few bucks. It's his anyway, but let's be a great steward to our assets, and let's provide for our retirement, provide for our church, provide for our families. And the only way I know how to do that is to. And so if you give us a call, we're going to treat everybody gracefully. We're very appreciative of anyone that gives us a call. It doesn't matter if you got $10,000 or $10 million. I can't talk to everybody, but we have a team here that you will get service. And I'm just honored for this movement, Mike. Like, it's just amazing that God has used a wretched soul like me and converted me over and won me over and fixed me up.
Right on.
So
absolutely. Well, amen. I mean, that's awesome. And Carlos, you have a show. Carlos he's so awesome. We have a show. He has his own show on Lindell TV. What time is that? Tell everybody what time your show is. And is it Monday through Friday, correct?
Yeah, it is. It's twice a week. I believe it's, Tuesdays and Saturdays. You put me on a spot, Mike. I don't know. I just record it, and you guys take care of it.
I don't have the schedule either, but you guys tune in. Check out Lindell TV anyway. Go down and check out the great show that Carlos has. But right now, you watched the show. Go to AmericaFirstRetirementPlan.com. Do it now, and or call 833-813-3446. You guys, you have everything to gain and to help save our country and help yourself and get yourself a plan. That's it. And so thanks, Carlos. And I want to thank you for Lindell TV. You've been a great sponsor. You have a great show. And everybody go to Lindell TV, the menu right now, the schedule. My show now is every day at, I got to think of mine, because 4 o'clock Central Time, 3 o'clock Central Time, 4 o'clock Eastern. So, but check out our great lineup, everybody. And And I want to thank again, Carlos, for you help sponsor our TV. You help make it all possible so that we can get the great information out to all of you. And we're all in this together, everybody. So get yourself a plan now. I'll say it one more time, AmericanFirstRetirementPlan.com. Call 833-813-3446. Get the phones ringing right now. Obviously, Carlos isn't going to be the one to answer right now because you're watching him right now.
Right.
But I mean, well, we play this over and over again. But anyway, what do you got right there?
So yeah, when clients call, what I'm doing for our Lindell listeners is I'm actually giving them a book, no cost to them. All they got to do is just give us a call. And if you're a current client, I'll send it for you for free. If you're not a client, all we ask is that we have a 10, 15-minute conversation, and I'll personally sign it. And I wrote pretty much everything we spoke about in a book. And I spent a few grand writing this book, and I don't want any money back. I just want to get the message out that there are options to not fund other countries other than America and protect yourselves. So we wrote a book about it, and it's for you.
Well, there you go, everybody. Get yourself the free book of what you just learned, a little bit of it. I'm sure there's a lot more of it there, but what we just talked about, just for listening for a few minutes at AmericaFirstRetirementPlan.com. Call 833-813-3446. Carlos, I can't thank you enough, and we'll get you back on very soon. And if you love Carlos' knowledge, remember to tune in for his show on Lindell TV, and we'll see you all next time. Thanks, Carlos.
Thanks, Mike.
God bless you. Are you ready to move easily and independently without pain or stiffness holding you back? That's where Native Path Collagen comes in. Native Path Collagen was designed with the highest quality ingredients that are scientifically backed to ease joint pain, strengthen bones, boost mobility, and so much more. And unlike other collagen products, it's made with the best two types of collagen fibers. These two specific fibers make up 90% of the collagen in your body. With Native Path Collagen, strengthening your bones, joints, and overall health, it's as easy as 1 scoop a day. And the best part, Native Path offers amazing bundle deals. And with their 365-day money-back guarantee, there's no risk to trying it today. Visit getnativepath.com/Lindell and start your transformation today.
As we close out the week, we want to remind you that we are now expanding. We're growing here at Lindell TV. We can't do it without you. So we thank all of our viewers for tuning in every day, not here just online or on Roku, but also on social media. We do want to remind you that Lindell TV is now on YouTube. I think as of last week, I believe. You can follow us there. There's our channel right there. Another source of information for you. Just simply subscribe to our channel. Please do so as we continue to grow. If you're on YouTube, just search Lindell TV News. Again, that's Lindell TV News. You can get all the news right there on your phone or your computer, wherever you watch Lindell TV. But we're on YouTube, so tell your friends, share the news, and subscribe to our channel. One more time, that's Lindell TV, now on YouTube. Also, go to our website, also growing and expanding, LindellTV.com. Our website is updating as we speak daily. We're scrolling there right now. You can see all of the shows that we have throughout the day. You can go back and watch them if you missed them. All of our top headlines of the day are always on the main page. Latest news and headlines daily at LindellTV.com. We also have that Doge tracker at the top. You can see up to the minute savings by Elon and the Doge team, how much it's saving you, how much it's saving every single taxpayer in America. That's LindellTV.com. And as you know, Mike Lindell is very busy with everyone attacking him. And so it's because of you, the American people, and people all over the world, that Mike is able to be standing today, have a voice here on Lindell TV. We want you to continue to support Mike and all of his efforts for safe, secure elections. You can go support Mike Lindell and all of us here by going to mypillow.com. And if you didn't know already, he just gave me a promo code. It's my name, Vanessa. Type it in and you will save big. Trust me when I tell you it's a good saving. So make sure you go to mypillow.com. Just type in Vanessa, save big. Look, a spring mega sale going on right now. Easter's coming. So if the Easter Bunny is listening, I would love to have something, maybe some slippers in my Easter basket this year. We'll see what the Easter Bunny does. But yes, you can go shopping there at mypillow.com. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for joining us on the Mike Lindell Show. I'm Vanessa Broussard. We'll see you same time, same place here on Monday. Have a great weekend, America.
You ever see this guy with the pillows on Fox? My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. He is the greatest. The My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. And he's been with us right from the beginning.